Well, welcome back. Now, we often get questions from viewers on Facebook asking about personal finance, so we're going to answer some of the questions today. Now, we've modified the name, personal data, and some of the information provided to make it more of a general question and so that it can be useful for everyone out there. To help answer these questions, with us in the studio today is Bruce Tum, Head of Financial Advisory Channel at Ringgit Plus. Now, thank you, Bruce, for joining us on Ringgit Sense Plus once again.
Thanks, Azara. It's great to be here.
Okay, so we have a situation given by one of our viewers. So I'll just read out the situation that is faced from one of our viewers called Amelia. So Amelia is a mother of 2 children. Her children are aged 4 and 6 years old. She and her husband Fikri have a joint income of 4,000 ringgit a month. So her situation is that she can only afford to put aside 300 ringgit for her kids. So either into their education fund or medical insurance. So which should she get?
Okay. Firstly, let's go through the fundamentals of financial planning. There are basically three stages of financial planning. The first one being wealth protection, wealth accumulation, and wealth distribution. The first 2 parts is whereby the first part is whereby you protect what you have. Yeah, protection. You protect what you have. Basically, it's an analogy of this is that if you have a jug and you're trying to pour water into it, but then there is a hole right at the bottom. No matter how much water you try to put into it, the water wouldn't hold, right? So this is the same thing as the need for wealth protection. So imagine if a family that has 2 children, one of them has a serious illness or an accident, the hospitalization fee will just wipe out the entire savings that they have, right? So the most important thing that you need to think about before even going to savings is actually to protect what you have. So coming back to the question, what you need to do is, of course, a medical card first, right? A medical card is the foremost important because in the event of anything, there is amount that comes in for hospitalization, and then you can actually figure out on the education part. For this, I think an investment-linked plan will be quite good because it caters for both. In one hand, an investment-linked plan with a medical rider. A medical rider is actually an add-on to what the investment link actually has. So the investment link basically gives you an investment upside for your savings. On the other hand, you are also protected with the medical card. So in the event of any eventualities, you are protected in both ways. So although this will not be strictly, or everything may not go to the education fund, but over time, you can as your income increases, you can add on to it. So it will add on to become the education plan that they need eventually.
Okay, I see. Well, Amelia and her husband actually have another situation that they need help with. They are right now renting an apartment. So their place is in Petaling Jaya and they pay rent of 1,000 ringgit per month. So their dream is they want to own a home one day. So they've been saving 200 ringgit a month, and so far they've saved about 5,000 ringgit. So they think that this isn't enough to actually buy a home. So what advice do you have for them in saving up for buying their future home?
Okay. For a home, buying a home, they actually need to first and foremost take a step back and see what they actually why they need to buy a home and when do they need this home, right? At this moment in time, because buying a house is the biggest commitment. It's going to be the biggest commitment of your life, and it's going to be long term, right? So they have to. There are a lot of things to consider even before starting this commitment. Okay, now if you are looking at their commitment at this moment in time, they have 2 children. They have 2 children. So the most important, and it's not that they do not have a home at this moment. They do have a home. It's just every one of us, at a certain point in time, we will want to have a house. But the most important thing, the most urgent need is that to provide for the family. At this moment, it's 200 ringgit a month they're saving, putting aside. And with this 5,000, I think this 5,000 ringgit is something of a safety net for now. they shouldn't disrupt this because in the event of any emergencies, they will need the funds that they have, and it has to come from their savings, right? So I would suggest that they either wait to get a higher until they get a higher income, because they're both young. They're both only 30. Yep. So if they were to wait for a little while, increase their income, and with the increase of income, you'll also increase the monthly cash flow, right? So with this increase of monthly cash flow, there's more comfortable. They'll be more comfortable to be able to afford a house, because the down payment of the house is actually one lump sum. Okay, when it comes to the house, the down payment, it's not only a down payment, it's also things like the legal fees. And probably once you get a house, it may not be the most optimum condition to move in. So you may need to buy new things, new furnitures. You need to renovate the house a little bit, and all of this costs money. So I suggest that what they do is, if it's in a shorter term, then I would suggest that probably they can think of ways they can get a second income, probably. So this to add on to their cash flow, and then once their savings is up to a better level, then they will be able to consider buying a house.
Okay, so your advice is for them to find some way to get additional income.
For now.
Okay, so thank you so much for your advice for Amelia and also Fikri. One of the examples of some of the questions that our viewers have sent to us. Thank you for sharing, and we'll have more questions like this in the future for you and your friends at Ringgit Plus.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, if you have a question about personal finance that you want help with, drop us a message on our Facebook page and we'll try to address it in our next episode. Well, we hope today's episode was useful for you. You can also catch up on previous stories we've done on our Facebook page and on YouTube. I'm Azar Tagaya. We'll see you again next week, and until then, remember to invest and save wisely.